Live is on. Hey guys.
Thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring this video, where you can create your own website in minutes.
Hey guys， 这是
Raphael
Raphael 的TOEFL 练习直播。你会看到这里有一些泛白，这是因为我的台灯在这里。造成了一些光线串扰。哦，我看到它已经在线。Hey guys， 这是 Raphael 的TOEFL 练习直播。你会看到这里有一些泛白，这是因为我的台灯在这里，造成了一些光线串扰。造成了一些光线串扰。我看到它已经 OK， 所以我们从小站托福开始。我这边用的是 DJI 的云台，尽管在宿舍里是不需要用云台的，但是还是弄上了。OK， 它可以在前后之间切换。看我的桌面需要被收拾。Set a timer. Hey Siri, set a timer for 25 minutes.
Okay, 25 minutes and counting.
我们现在开始第一个番茄时钟。我记得是在 TPO 4的 listening 里面有一篇 lecture 之前。
Why? What? Listen to part of a lecture in a literature class.
Listen to part of a lecture in the literature class. 5 minutes remaining for YouTube today. Listen to a part of a lecture in a literature class. All right.
All right. So let me close today's class with some.
All right. Let me close today's class by. 我下次可能得用小乙直播。
Thoughts to keep in mind while you're doing tonight's assignment.
Keep in mind while you are doing tonight's assignment. While you are doing tonight's assignment. Keep in mind while you are doing tonight's assignment. All right, so let me close today's class with some thoughts to keep in mind while you are doing tonight's assignment.
Class with some thoughts to keep in mind while you're doing tonight's assignment. You'll be reading one of Ralph Waldo Emerson's best-known.
You will be reading one of Ralph Waldo Emerson's best-known
essays,
self-reliance,
and comparing it with his poems and other works.
And comparing it with his poems and other works. I don't know if someone is watching here. 我会看到吗？我不知道。Top chat. Nobody's watching.
Essays, self-reliance.
You will be reading one of Ralph Waldo Emerson's best-known essays, Self-Reliance, and comparing it with his poems and other works.
I think this essay has the potential to be quite
meaningful. I think this essay has the potential to be quite meaningful for all of you as young people.
For all of you.
As
young people who probably wonder about things like truth and where your lives are going.
And think about truth and where your life's going. Or all sorts of profound questions. All sorts of profound questions. All sorts of profound questions. I think this essay has the potential to be quite meaningful for all of you as young people who probably wonder about things like truth and where you are where your lives are going.
All sorts of profound questions.
All sorts of profound questions found. All sorts of profound questions. All sorts of profound questions.
Knowing something about Emerson's philosophy.
Knowing something about Emerson's
philosophies will help you when you read Self-Reliance.
Knowing something about Emerson's philosophies will help you when you're reading Self-Reliance.我来找一下 TPO 的原文，因为这样读没法做笔记。
Self-Reliance.
我在小站托福上找到了它的原文。现在我们用 pages 可以，宝宝 ，OK。我们用 pages 可以直接用 Apple Pencil 去做标记。我们增加它的行距11。Line spacing before yes 断间距增加。All right, so let me close today. Oh, sorry. 抱歉。谢谢你。All right, so
Self-Reliance.
Ah? Sorry. WeChat 啊，今天把 WeChat 用到头了。
Listen to part of a lecture in a literature class.
给你1毛钱关系没有，全21块。
Listen to part of a lecture. Listen to part of a lecture in a literature class. In a literature class.
这话从几十年前一直在执行，你现在跟我说一点没有用。
All right.
All right.
So let me close today's class with.
So let me close today's class with some. So let me close today's class with some. Where's my Apple Pencil? So how many time left? 17 minutes. Okay, where's my Apple Pencil? Yeah, I lost it. It's in a box. Well, containing one. Maybe it's my bag. No, it's not on my desk. Oh shit. Coat? No, it's not in my coat. I don't know. Where's my Apple Pencil? Is where? Yeah. Sorry about that. I don't know where is it. Where I put it. Maybe I just put them away. 我的天，我找不到我的 Apple Pencil。Apple Pencil。机票3700，原价一个折不打。先放一下。Sorry， 我这个出了状况。啊，放到这里面了，怪不得。哦，这难道是我那一个作文？天哪 ！Is relating well to others more important than studying hard? Studying hard? Yeah. 啤酒不喝了。So let me close today's class. With some thoughts to keep in mind while you are.
Some thoughts to keep in mind while you're doing tonight's assignment.
Some thought to keep in mind.
You'll be reading one of Ralph Waldo Emerson's
You will be reading one of
best known
essays. Best known what essays?
Self-reliance. And comparing it with his poems and other works.
Comparing it with his poems and other works.
I think this essay has the potential to be quite meaningful.
I think this essay has the potential to be
for all of you.
All of you.
As young people who probably wonder.
As young people who
about things like truth and where your lives are going. All sorts of profound questions. People who probably wonder about things like truth and where your lives.
Listen to part of a lecture in a literature class.
For all of you, as young people who probably wonder about things like truth and where your lives are going. All sorts of profound questions.
All sorts of profound questions. In where your lives are going.
Knowing something about Emerson's philosophies will help.
Knowing something about Emerson's philosophy. Knowing something about Emerson's philosophies would
help you when you read Self-Reliance. And
will help
basically
you. Knowing something about Emerson's philosophy will help you when you're reading Self-Reliance. Will help you when you read Self-Reliance. And
one of the main beliefs that he had.
One of the main beliefs that they had. One of the main belief that he had. Was
about truth.
Was about truth.
Not that it.
Was about truth.
that we can be taught. Emerson says it's found within ourselves.
Emerson says it's found will be ourself. It's found within ourself. Within ourself is ourself. Emerson said it's found with ourself. Self.
So this truth, the idea that it's in each one, truth and where your lives are going, all sorts of profound questions.
All sorts of profound questions.
Knowing something about Emerson's philosophies will help you when you read Self-Reliance.
Knowing something about Emerson's philosophy will help you when you are reading Self-Reliance.
And basically, one of the main beliefs that he had was about truth.
What was about truth?
Not that it's something that we can be taught.
Not as something that could be taught. Not as something that could be taught.
Something about Emerson's philosophies will help you when you read Self-Reliance. And basically, one of the main beliefs that he had was about truth. Not that it's something that
not as something that we could
be taught. Emerson says it's found within ourselves. Something about Emerson's philosophies will help you when you read Self-Reliance. And basically, one of the main beliefs that he had was about truth. Not that it's something that we can be taught. Emerson says it's found within ourselves.
Not as something that could be taught, but as something Emerson said something that are within ourselves.
Not that it's something that we can be taught. Emerson says it's found within ourselves.
Emerson said that something found in ourselves. That something be found in ourselves.
These will help you when you read Self-Reliance. And basically, one of the main beliefs that he had.
And basically, one of the main beliefs he had
was about truth.
Not
that it's something that we can.
Not as something that we can
be taught.
We can be taught.
Emerson says it's found within.
Emerson says it could be found
in ourselves.
Emerson said that could be found in ourselves. Emerson said that it could be found in ourselves. Emerson said that something can be found in ourselves.
So this truth,
the
idea that it's in each one of us.
This is truth. The main idea that in each of shit. So not that something that we can be taught. Emerson said it's found found in ourselves. So this truth, the idea that it is in each one of us is one of the first points you will see Emerson's making his essay.
That it's something that we can be taught. Emerson said it's found
within herself.
So this
truth,
the idea that it's in each one of us.
The idea that's in each one of us. The idea that's in each one of us. The idea that's in each one of us. The idea that it's in each one of us.
Emerson says it's found within ourselves. So this truth. The idea that it's in each one.
The idea that that's in each one
of us.
Each one of us. The idea that it's in each one of us. The idea that it's in each one of us. The idea that is in each one of us. The idea that is in each one of us. The idea that is in each one of us. The idea that is in each one of us. The idea that is in each one of us. The idea that is in each one of us. The idea that is in each one of us. The idea that is in each one of us. The idea that is in each one of us. The idea that is in each one of us.
Is one of the first points that you'll see Emerson.
It is the one of the first of the thing. Oh, sorry.
Making in this essay.
Making in this essay.
Is one of the first points that you'll see Emerson making in this essay. It's a bit abstract, but he's very into that we can be taught. Emerson says it's found within ourselves.
It's found within
ourselves.
So it's true.
The idea that it's in each one of us is one of the first points that you'll see Emerson making in this essay.
It's one of the first point you can see in Emerson's essays. Essay.
It's a bit abstract. But he's very into each person believing his or her own thought.
It's very into each one of us believing he or herself in his mind.
Believing in yourself.
Believing
the thought
in
or
yourself.
Conviction that's true for you.
To find a conviction for each one of you. 哦，对了，我们可以去图书馆约研讨室，超棒的。研讨室？对啊，而且有空调，有吃有有空间，可以干任何想做的事情。
哇，任何想做的事情。
对 ，anything you want。可以去开黑组团。
我就，空调。研讨室在几楼？
研讨室在你要看有空的位置，你要在1楼那个机器，就是2楼那个机器。就是进门口的也有一个柱子背后躲了一个机器，这个机器那里刷你的卡，然后你就会获得一个特权，就是研讨室特权，是权贵，我们学校的权贵才可以用，其中包括了你。Each one of us.
Person believing his or So this
truth.
The idea that in each one of us.
The idea that in each one of us. The idea that's in each one of us. The idea that in each one of us. The idea that in each one of us. 还有3分钟 3 minutes left.
Is one of the first point.
It's one of the first point. It's one of the first point.
That you'll see Emerson making in this essay.
That you see it's the very first of the. Sorry.
Emerson says it's found within
ourselves. With ourselves.
So this truth.
The
idea that it's in each one of us.
The idea that is in each one of us. The idea that 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 in each one of us.
Is one of the first points that you'll see Emerson.
It's one of the first point.
The idea that it's in each one of us.
In each one of us.
Is one of the first
It's one of the first point. It's one of the first point you see.
Emerson making in this essay.
Is one of the first thing you will see that Emerson in making his essay.
So this truth.
The idea that is in each one of us. The idea that in each one of us. The idea that in each one of us.
Is one of the first points that you'll see Emerson.
It's one of the first point you see. It's one of the first point you see. It's one of the first point you see in Emerson
making in this essay.
You see
Emerson. It's a bit abstract, but he's very So this truth,
the idea that it's in each one of us,
the idea that in each one of us,
is one of the first points that you'll see Emerson.
It's one of the first points you see in
making in this essay.
Emerson. You see Emerson making his essay.
It's a bit abstract, but he's very into.
It's a bit abstract, but it's very into. It's a bit abstract, but it's very into.
Into each
person believing
her own thought.
Believing his or her own thought. But it's very into each of us. I don't know what I'm saying. It's quite hard for me to repeat this 10 seconds or 20 seconds. I don't know. It's quite hard. Let me repeat. Maybe that's the reason why I'm doing this exercise here. Okay.
So this truth,
the
idea that it's in each one of us, is one of the first points that you see Emerson making this essay.
It's one of the first things that you will see that Emerson making his essay. It is the first thing you will see that Emerson making his essay. It is the first thing you will see that Emerson making his essay. Okay, today's time's up. Timer down. Red button. Ooh. Go back to the top. Okay, thank you for watching. I don't know whether if there are somebody watching me. Thank you for your watching, and maybe I will start I will do my broadcasting every day. Whoa, Henry Lee, okay. Add moderator. So, hey Henry Lee, how are you?多谢啊，开心。哦。Henry Lee， 你还在看吗？我有点不太记得了。我要怎么样 ？Moderator, add moderator is a new moderator of your channel. Moderator, what is moderator? 哦，仲裁者。Okay. Go to channel. Publicly as 老杨。Hey. Henry Lee, how are you? Sorry, 我不知道，我这个直播是单向性的，我 top test。谢谢大家的观看，那就再见了，拜拜。